Hey guys, welcome to today's video. This week we are doing foundations all week long. And these are foundations that are not necessarily new. Some are new-ish, but they are all new to me. And I will put a card here, my first card, or here, linking to at least one of the other videos. And there you go. Today we are going to take a look at Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation. I've never tried a Catrice product before, and it's only Tati. I was watching a Tati video and she loves this. So I went on Amazon and I ordered it in 018 Cool Rose. And I did shoot a little bit last night, but shooting at night, not so hot. So I may or may not make this a 2-day thing, but I think probably not. I might come back later on today and show you what's going on. I do have some errands to run. It is hot. Before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about me. I'm 58 years old. My skin is not dry per se, but it's no longer producing the collagen, elastin, hyaluronic acid, oils, all the good stuff that helps skin be up and plump and youthful. We produce less and less. Every year we get older, we're producing less and less. I'm extraordinarily aware of things that are drying. I can feel that tightening on my skin and it's a big no. I feel pins and needles and it's a big no. So while I'm not dry per se, I'm on the precipice of being dry and I don't like drying products. So that's where I'm coming from. I have already done my skincare and I have done my sunscreens, and it's been a solid 25 minutes, I'd say. So let's get into it. When I tried this the other day, I remembered, oh, Tati loves a full coverage. And full coverage, I don't have anything against full coverage. It's just that it is so difficult to find the right color, especially for someone like me who has a lot of redness on the chest. I have, everything is red from the breasts up, pretty much. But you can see, oh, we're not red there, So for me, it's kind of like art, figuring out a foundation that will look good and kind of look like it belongs, and I don't look like a floating head. And it's easier to accomplish that when you're not wearing full coverage. So that's one thing. And full coverage can look, kind of heavy. I think largely because the color is wrong. So what I'm going to do is half the face just this. And I'm going to do half the face mixing it with one of my Lisa Eldridges. I think I'm going to go with the rose because even though this is a rose undertone, it doesn't look pink. I usually go for neutral, but the neutral didn't look all that neutral. And that's another drag I personally find with things from the drugstore. Really hard to get a color match, and their shades are strange, slightly strange, as Sean Connery would say. Slightly strange. So yeah, let's do this half of the face, and boom, just one pump, because I'm usually a 2-pump girl, and it's a little bit runny. Gonna do fingers, which is what I usually do, and you can see, wow man, that doesn't look rose. It's okay, I don't have a pink undertone, but I'm just saying, if you do, you may not find anything that works for you in this line. Now, I have a little bit of color in my face, you guys. I had gone to the nursery. I sunscreen very well, but I'm telling you, it takes me minutes to get some color. So the color might not be right. It feels dry when I move it around. It's not like, ooh, slip, ooh, like my Makeup Forever reboot or my Dior, which I adore. Je adore Dior. I believe that's their advertising campaign. And it feels a teeny bit yellow to me. I got a Beauty Blender damp, pre-dampened, just to do a final blend. And for me, this is the way I prefer to use a Beauty Blender. Not to apply makeup so much as blending it once it's on. So when I look at my ears, which are very light, I'm not looking to match the ears, but there's definitely a little bit of yellow going on here. And I'm just going to pull down a little bit. So most of my foundations I find 2 pumps for the whole face. Tons left here. This is lots left. So I did do this last night and then I put everything away, but I just want to run by a couple of things you could do. You could put this all over your face first and then do this, or you can mix them together. You could use this product. You could use the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, which I don't own. I've used a little sample before. You could use the Le Beige from Chanel. You could mix those two together, and the Le Beige from Chanel will lighten something up for you quite nicely. And you could use the by Terry, which they call it a CC Brightening Serum. Again, you could put it on all over, or you can mix them together. My favorite to put on first versus mixing together is the MAC Strobe Cream, but I'm going to do this because it's here and because it's new. It is a doe foot, so I'm just going to put a generous amount on my hand. Boom. And another pump right next to it, although I probably won't need this much. It's kind of messy. And mix these together. And I chose the rose because it might help. The Crystal Nebula is more warm, and this might help to undo the warmness. Look at that. Can you believe that's rose? And you can see that this is oxidizing a little bit and it's calmed down. It doesn't look as egregiously wrong. And you can see there's a little bit of sheen going on here. So while it feels a little drying on the skin, it doesn't look drying. Of course, I did start with a shiny face because of my skincare and my sunscreen. I hate getting makeup on my earrings. But I also hate taking off my earrings. I wore the same earrings for more than 10 years. And then if you look at my older videos, or even on my main page, you'll see me wearing those earrings. And then that was a peridot, and I was at the grocery store. I got in the car, I was wearing a puffer, it was winter, and my hair was in the way, and I pulled back, and I felt, oh my God, the hoop had opened. And I don't know where it opened, but I lost that stone, and I have been trying to, I've gone to a couple of jewelers saying, you know, I just want a stone like this. And they're like, yeah, we can't do that. We have to buy a whole strand. And I was up for it. I'm like, well, how much is the whole strand? You can make me a necklace. I'm cool with it. But at the end of the day, nobody wanted to do it. So I got the, I think it's blue topaz that I got. But still, my point is, I'm just talking, and I got this in my eyebrows. My point is just that I put on earrings, and I like to just keep them in and not think about them for years. And I'm just trying to mix it up a little bit. So I did get another pair of citrines because this color makes me very happy, but it's just not the same thing. All right, so this I feel has a little bit more dewiness to it than this side. I don't have my door all the way open because it is hot and I'm a very efficient sweater, but I'm going to open it up now so we can get a better idea with natural light. Okay, I love natural light. I think natural light is just the way to go. It's more flattering and it shows makeup more accurately, the color of makeup more accurately. Okay, let's do a little concealer. I'm going to do the Clinique Even Better. And you know what? I'm going to do it right. I'm going to start with my Charlotte Tilbury corrector. This is my favorite corrector, you guys. I have tried Pixies. I have tried Becca. I have tried Maybelline. I have tried MAC and Bobbi Brown. And this one just works for me. It's not too emollient. And you don't have to put your finger in a jar that if you have any kind of nails at all, it gets all underneath your nails. I don't know why everybody doesn't do them flat like this. Even if it's still an emollient, you could still make it flat. And I feel the sweat coming, so I'm just gonna, I'm gonna calm down and turn up the fan and be back in a minute. All right, I turned the fan down a little bit. We did a little MOS action, but I just don't want to sweat today, so you probably are going to hear the fan. Hopefully the straps won't be moving around too much, but this is what it looks like. And again, on me, it's not terribly matte. This I didn't add anything to, and this I added the Lisa Eldridge highlighter to. I also don't feel like I got full coverage, if I'm being honest with you. Like my cheeks could use a little bit more. But I think if you want full coverage, you can 100% get it out of this one. I'm going to go in again with the Giorgio Armani. This is 61 Cool Plum. I did shoot this last night and it looked different at night. So I want to give this another try. Going to go in with, well, I'm not going to go in with my fingers. I'll just show you in case you missed this video what this looks like. And I'm going to go in with the butt of the Beauty Blender because I just think it's a little bit easier. And you generally aren't going to overdo it, although I may have just now. Because this color is a lot for my skin tone. It's very dark. And I think it's great for kind of a highlighter, but when I put it on for a contour, not a highlighter, when I put it on last night, I thought it actually looked like someone hit me in the face and I had a bruise. So I am not so sure about this color, but I want to show you what it looks like when you put it on your eyes and your lips. And that's what makes a product like this so great. Usually, in my experience, products that are made for, or they market as, you can use this on your lips, you could use this on your eyes, you could use it on your cheeks. It is invariably better suited to one of those areas and not so well suited. So oftentimes things are too emollient and you just don't want that on your eye. But this formula, I think it's looking better, right? This formula, because it's so strange, it's like, it's dry. It's not emollient. It's almost like a cream. It's almost like a cream to powder, or a powder to cream. I feel a creamy nature. I don't know how to explain it. We're going to put it on the eyes. And I'm just going to do a haze all over the eye and up to the socket. And for women like me who are hooded, you don't want to look like iris and hood, and that's all you see. And I feel like doing something like this, see the difference from eye to eye? Iris and hood. With this one, it feels like the hood is being pushed back a little bit, but it doesn't look makeup-y. So it's, I don't know, I think it's kind of ideal for something on the weekend, something for running errands, where you don't want to be full makeup, but you don't want to be the dreaded iris and hood look. And I think that does so much. And if you wanted to, you could go in again and just deepen up on the outer quarter, outer third. Since my nails are getting a little long, I'm not going to cut them because I'm just thinking they're pretty much ready to break now, which invariably is what happens. I'm going to go in with a brush, but you don't have to. And just add a little bit to get some depth. I'm just kind of feeling that orbital bone. Nothing really specific, nothing really fancy, but it helps to, for me, elongate my eye just a little bit. So simple. And boom, my eyes are not even. I do have my tear duct gland pops out through here, so they never really look the same. But, you know, the effort is the same for sure. And you can put a little bit, whatever's left under here, if you want it. Whatever. And now we're going to put some on the lip. And again, because of this formula, it reminds me of several companies like MAC do powdered lipstick. It kind of reminds me of that. Because it is so dark, I'm just going to rub it more closer to my vermilion. my outline. And there you go. So that is another look at the Giorgio Armani in 61 Cool, which is only available at Saks. I will link that below. And let's go on and do some bronzer. And I think we're going to do a cream bronzer. Tarte Seychelles as usual. You know what, you guys? This looks more radiant than it feels. It still feels the teeniest bit drying, but it doesn't look drying. And it seems to have adapted to my skincare, and I still think there's better coverage on this side, which totally makes sense. I just feel like I want a little bit more, just a little bit more pinkiness, so I'm going into this Clé de Peau in peach, but it doesn't look peach, but I still love it. And again, I love that the mouth is wider so I can stick my finger in here. Thank you so much. And I love the smell of roses, I do. Just, for me, I just feel like I need a color like that on my face. And I think I want to see what this looks like if I put a gloss over it. What do you think? Yes, let's do that. So, Lisa Eldridge, this is Songbird. I do not have a highlighter on. I do feel like I'm a teeny bit too shiny right up here. Isn't that strange? I'm going to go in with the Kosas and pat that down and see how they look together. And then I'm gonna get dressed and go into this heat and run a couple of errands. And we'll see if this actually wears well. Because it is a long wear. There, just kind of take that down the smallest bit. And I don't like shine right here, and I did not do my under eyes, so whatever's left under the eyes. This is looking promising. Gosh, you guys, I think it's a very, very pretty look that I have here. And this is, so far, this is a great success for me personally with drugstore. There's one other drugstore foundation that I really like, but it has a ton of alcohol in it. And I didn't look at these ingredients, so I'll tell you what, we're going to come back in about 3 hours. We're going to go over the ingredients and see how this hangs on in heat. And we'll see you then. Hey you guys, it is about 4 hours later, so it's 4 o'clock, and this is what we have going on. I went out for a couple of hours. Well, not that long, yeah, maybe an hour. Wearing a mask, it's in the low 90s, it's kind of hot. And I looked in the mirror, and you know what? It's holding up. Now, I got a little bit right here, not on this side, and I have rub off from my sunglasses and from my readers, which is very, very common. There's nothing unusual about that. I did have a little settling right here. I often do. I have little lines here. And in the big crevice here, no, but I have another big crevice here, yes. But all I did was just pat it, and it never came back. It looks pretty on the skin. I feel a little tightening on this side, just a little bit. I don't on this side. So this is the side that I cut, if you will, the Catrice with the Lisa Eldridge in the Cosmic Rose. And this is the size that is full on the Catrice by itself. I'd say the coverage is very similar. A little bit less, but still buildable on this side than on this side. But this side feels a little bit more comfortable to me. So I've already explained my skin type. I would say if you have normal skin, you might not have a problem with that tightness. It's not unbearable, but I'm aware of it. I feel it on my skin on this side. It's a little weird. It's a little weird, not gonna lie. So it's holding up in the heat. 4 hours, of course, is not the same as an all-day wear test, but it's probably the best I'm gonna be able to do. I might surprise you. I might surprise you and come back after I hike Lucy, and you know, if it looks good, if I can manage to get the lights going, I'll come back a third time. But for now, I'm going to say this is probably it. The color is interesting because on my hand I thought this is really warm. Now mind you, I have natural light from a door over here, and now it's quite late, so there's just a teeny bit of dappled light. And then I have 3 lights over here that balance that light, so I'm not all in shadow. Those lights are on right now. and the light is very different. When I went into the living room and looked in there, I thought, oh, I see the pinkiness here, where I didn't see it when I was sitting in here. I thought, this is pretty good. For me, pink undertones tend to look very ruddy or a teeny bit gray, and this one had kind of that grayish look indoors under dim light. I think it's so important to check your foundation color in different lights, because that's 75% of the game. If you can find the right color, you can go full. You can go light. You can do whatever you want. And you can do it with confidence. You won't be afraid you're putting on makeup in the bathroom, it looks fabulous, then you go out to dinner with low lighting and you look gray. So this one kind of has a little bit of that grayness. I'm looking here and I don't see it, but I did see it in the other room. Outside, I didn't see it, but I did see it in the other room, so I know I would not want to wear this out at night because it's the wrong undertone for me. The depth of tone is fine. And I do find this, honestly, a lot with foundations from the drugstore. Foundations from the drugstore have odd colors, and they're hard to find a good match because you can't try them on. They're just full of challenges, and for me it's oftentimes, you know what, I want to go somewhere I can try it on, I can get a sample, not that those are back, but I can't do that drugstore thing of buying it, bring it back, buying it, bring it back, and just not knowing which way I'm going and what color I'm getting. So I thought I chose pretty darn well, but it's not exactly right. And the truth is, I don't know if their neutral tone will really work on me. You know what I mean? I chose this color for a reason. The neutral tone looked decidedly warm to me. So, depending on your skin tone and your undertone, it may work for you. You might not have a problem finding something that works. I did take a look at the ingredients, and there wasn't anything horrible in here. And to me, I'm not a chemist. To me, horrible is anything that has drying alcohol. I don't want that on my face, and it's very common in drugstore foundations, and it wasn't in here. There were two good ingredients that were halfway down, tocopherol and sodium hyaluronate, and the rest of it seemed to just be dimethicones and a whole bunch of things that just, color and texture and that kind of stuff. Again, I'm not a chemist. There could be something in here that's icky. There's fragrance in here, but I have to say, it's not strong. I didn't put this on my face and think, oh, it's perfume, but smelling the cap just now, yeah, a little bit. It's, I don't know, kind of floral, kind of sweet. It's not bad. It's not offensive. I don't think it's necessary, but I don't know. This could smell horrible without it, and they were like, oh my goodness, or we have to put some fragrance in this. Who knows? So, my feelings are, if you have normal skin, no problem. If you have dry skin, moisturize well and maybe cut it with something else. You could build some coverage, but I thought that the Lisa Eldridge worked very, very well. You could certainly cut it with something like the LeBlanc from Chanel, from the By Terry CC serum. They have several colors. You could do it with the MAC strobe cream. There's so many things we can do. If it's too light, you can use the Drunk Elephant Bronzy. I have from time to time taken the NARS Orgasm Liquid and put that in a foundation that's the wrong color for me. So there's a lot of ways to cut it so it might not be drying and might not be the wrong color anymore. And yeah, I think that's it. Wears well, a little bit of wrinkling, a little bit in the creases, not hard to take care of, looks solid, very solid coverage, just a little bit weird with the tones, a little bit drying on the side of the face where I didn't blend it with something else. And if you're on a budget for $11, let me tell you, you can do a lot worse. A lot worse. So that's going to wrap up this one. So this is the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation, long wear, and it's hanging in very nicely in the heat and under a mask. So it gets some good points. It really, really does. And you guys, that's going to wrap it up for me. I want to thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. I hope it was helpful to you, and I hope you come back again. And I hope you consider subscribing if you have not subscribed already. And I'll put a link to some of the other foundations that I'm doing this week down below. And yeah, I think that's it. Until we meet again, be smart and safe, and I'm wishing you good health.